and welcome to Warblog. Today I'm going to be testing the new air rules. That's it really. I've chosen this game because there's quite a few air rules in it. It's a Battle of Ramadi, but it's got some air rules, so it's got some air units which I'm going to focus on using. Essentially, I'm not really sure how they work, so I'm going to sort of be testing them. I think they're working, but I'll probably find that there's a few errors, but I've gone through and I've checked the basics. It seems to be working, so if there's some errors, I'll just have to sort of go back and fix them, obviously. But I thought I'd do a little video to help me maybe even think about what I'm doing. So essentially, it works in the same way as artillery does now. So before, the whole point of me changing the rules is that, for example, if you look at this big stack here, it's worth, I think they're all sort of, we can take them all at face value, but it's worth 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And let's look at that at face value, and that's worth 5, or that's worth 4. So he's worth 9, but he's going to be, do some lateral thinking here. I mean, he's going to be in light urban, entrenched. So what's that? He's going to be sort of, I don't know, sort of 9, 18, 36. So even if I go in there, I'm going to be at 1 to 4. I'm not going to be able to hit him, which doesn't make a lot of sense really, because there's more of them. I should be able to hit them. It's not like a face-to-face confrontation. So basically, it's changed to work the same way that artillery works. It will basically target each unit. They'll still get the defensive bonus, but it just goes after each unit at a time. So I've been practicing on these ones, but I'm going to practice on this one now. So I'm going to go for that big stack. You can see there's a lot of units there, but we're taking them one at a time. So I want to get some odds on this. I'm going to put them both in together, and then we'll look at the results. Fingers crossed. Okay, so it seems to have worked. This, to be quite honest, we should probably ignore now. Essentially, I didn't hit the first one. In fact, that's sort of wrong, because it would be, the odds would be calculated against each one. I'll have to change that, but it doesn't matter. Basically, I missed the first one. I actually hit the second one, which is artillery, and I did 4.7 damage to it, which was pretty good. And I also hit this unit, and I hit this unit. I missed this unit, sorry. So no effect. So that's, I'm sort of trying to balance it up. I think maybe the damage amounts might be a little high. But I'll have to think about that. So, but the bottom line is, what I can do now is, I can only hit up to 4 units, but I can now actually start to use aircraft sort of as maybe they should be used, and that's to start, just bombing cities and defensive units without having to worry about the fact that their factors have to sort of come into sort of like a close-to-close combat range with the combined factors of the defending units. That's sort of not going to happen. But anyway, I'm wobbling. Let's just maybe move some units. I have a lot of units. Okay, I'm not going to bother anymore with that. There's the nicest turn. Now we've got our air power back, so this time I'm going to go for this stack here for some reason, no reason in particular, just see how that works. Press the button. So in this case, no effect against the first unit and 1 damage against the next unit. So I think that's a fairly effective way of doing things. These are quite small units, so let's maybe double this up. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back after this stack. So he's still depressed slightly. So let's see whether we can make better ground against them when they're a little weaker. I'm quite happy with that result because we did quite well last time, but this time we happen to have just missed that. So I think the air power is a little better now. I'm still a bit cautious about the really high results. You know, the sort of 5. If you've got 7 to 1, yeah, 5. If you get 7 to 1, you get like 5 depressions, and I think that's a bit high, so I might sort of tweak that down a bit. And also, the factors of the aircraft are 1.7, so when aircraft go in, they're at 1.7. I don't know why, to be quite honest. Should have just given them larger factors, but that's sort of how they're working at the moment, so I might tune that down a bit as well. Let's just see what we can do next. So let's go after another stack. Let's see what we can do against. Well, let's see what we can do against this one because it's got some artillery in there. Okay, I'm going to have to sort of change that. This was. So I missed that one. 1.2 damage on there. That's sort of quite misleading actually, because basically that would have been the factors against that. They would have been defending on a 1, and I would have been at 7 times 1.7. I actually calculated it. Calculator's still on. 15.3, I think. So 15.3 against. Well, obviously it's gone up to about 3, hasn't it? So that would be 3. That would be 5 to 1. So that sort of makes a bit of sense. So essentially, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't really want to spend much longer just doing this. I'm knackered. But basically, the artillery air combat can actually air power can now it can actually be used for think of what it's good for, and that's maybe bombing high concentrations of troops as opposed to avoiding them and just trying to go for the little weak units on their own, because that's not how they behave. I mean, if you've got a whole concentration of a huge stack like this, you're going to want to go for it. Let's see what we can do it again. What we haven't had so far is a notable air defence. So they've got a lot of air defence in here, and when I was practicing it, the air defence was quite potent. I don't think we've had any yet. Okay, well that's interesting. So we missed that one. So we're doing damage. And we can go in there and just keep blowing these stacks up. The only thing that sort of and I keep saying this, is that I haven't done the morale yet. 1.7. 2, 2.7, 2, 0, 0. When I do the morale as well, just like artillery, air power will be an automatic morale check, regardless of how much damage you do. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to tone it down a little though, and I'm going to modify this so that the odds go there and this thing is left down. Okay, so hopefully the air power will now give you a little more I don't know, whatever it is, the yeah, senility is creeping up on me. The air power will essentially, hopefully, be a little more intuitive and allow you to use it where you feel it should be used, which makes sense, as opposed to having to, in the past, use it against stacks like you're attacking them, like infantry, etc. So that should make sense. Makes sense to me. I'll see you later. Bye.